Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something. When it comes to relationships, people always want to know the magic phrase, the secret line, the one sentence that'll lock a man in and make him never look at another woman again. But here's what most folks don't understand. It ain't about manipulation, it ain't about tricks, and it ain't about trying to control somebody. It's about speaking to a man in a way that touches both his pride and his purpose. When I talk about speaking with confidence and not insecurity, I'm not talking about being loud, being aggressive, being controlling, or being dramatic. I'm talking about that quiet, unshakable, graceful confidence that makes a man pay attention on a level he didn't even know he had. See, men don't fall in love with insecurity. Men don't stay loyal because somebody questions them every day. Men don't stay faithful because someone is scared of losing them. A man stays loyal, committed, and focused when he feels he is standing beside a woman who knows her worth so deeply that she doesn't need to scream it. She just carries it in how she speaks, how she moves, how she reacts, and how she handles him. Confidence is a language, and every man hears it. But a confident woman doesn't beg for reassurance. She inspires respect. She doesn't try to compete with other women. She already knows she's the one. She doesn't check his phone. She checks his character. And the moment you speak from that level, from that place right there, a man listens like you never heard him listen before. Because the truth is, men respond not to pressure, but to presence. And a confident woman's presence says everything before she even opens her mouth. But when she finally does speak, those words carry weight. They make him think. They make him adjust. They make him become better. Now, let me tell you something real. A man can smell insecurity. He can feel it in the tone, hear it in the questions, sense it in the reactions. And that energy pushes him away without him even knowing why. But confidence, that draws him closer. That makes him look at you differently. That makes him want to protect you, honor you, and prove himself to you. Confidence tells a man, I chose you, but I didn't need you to complete me. And that right there is powerful. A man respects a woman who stands strong on her own 2 feet, not because she acts like she doesn't need a man, but because she knows she is whole with or without him. When you speak to a man from confidence, you're speaking from a place of peace, purpose, and clarity. You're not reacting out of fear. You're not trying to control him. You're not trying to keep him. You're showing him the version of yourself that he should be honored to have. And believe me, men feel that. We feel when a woman believes in her value, it makes us step up. It makes us pay attention. It makes us want to rise to her level. BR confidence changes the way you address issues. Instead of saying, why were you looking at her? A confident woman says, I'm not competing with anybody. I know who I am. Instead of saying, what if you get tired of me? She says, if I'm not your piece, tell me so I don't waste either of our time. Instead of saying, don't leave me, she says, I want a man who's sure about me. If that's you, good. If not, I don't beg, I adjust. That tone right there, a man feels it in his bones. He doesn't hear fear. He hears expectation. And good men rise when a woman speaks with expectation. See, confidence isn't arrogance. Confidence isn't pretending to be heartless. Confidence isn't acting like you don't care. No, confidence is knowing your value so deeply that you don't let temporary emotions rewrite your identity. And when you speak from confidence, you speak with control. You speak with purpose. You speak with the tone that says, I choose peace over drama, self-respect over desperation, truth over fear. That tone makes a man think twice before he ever considers disrespecting you. When you speak confidently, you set the emotional temperature of the relationship, because a man can only love you on the level you love yourself. If you doubt your worth, he will too. If you question yourself, he will follow that energy. But if you stand tall, if you speak with conviction, if you show him through your words that you value yourself, then he will treat you accordingly. A man mirrors the belief a woman carries. If you believe you're not enough, he reflects that. But if you speak like a woman who knows she's the prize, the peace, and the purpose, he reflects that too. Confidence shows up in what you don't say as much as what you do say. A confident woman doesn't explain why she deserves respect. She simply expects it. She doesn't debate with a man about his loyalty. She watches his actions. She doesn't panic when he pulls away. She maintains her standards and lets him decide if he's strong enough to meet them. This energy shifts the entire dynamic. It turns the conversation from fear into choice, from insecurity into clarity, from chasing into being chosen properly. Men don't stay loyal because a woman demands it. They stay loyal because a woman inspires it, and confidence is inspirational. A man looks at a confident woman and says to himself, she's different, she's valuable, she's rare. I can't play with her. I got to show up right. Confidence makes him see you as long-term, not temporary. Confidence makes him protect you. Confidence makes him prioritize you. Confidence makes him eliminate unnecessary temptation because he knows the woman he has is not replaceable. A woman who speaks with confidence says things like, I'm not worried about other women because I know what I bring to your life. And that right there shuts down every option he thought he had. Because when a man realizes he's with a woman who believes in herself, he stops looking around. He knows he won't find that energy anywhere else. That's the power of confidence. It's magnetic, it's strong, it's steady, and it changes the way a man sees you. And when you speak from that place, you don't just get his attention, you get his respect, his loyalty, and his commitment. That's why speaking with confidence is the foundation. It's the key that unlocks everything else. When you tell a man what you appreciate instead of what you fear, you unlock a part of him he doesn't show to everybody. See, most people spend so much time talking about what they don't want, what they're scared of, what could go wrong, what they hope doesn't happen, that they forget something real simple. Appreciation is fuel for a man. A man moves better, loves better, commits stronger, and focuses deeper when he feels appreciated. Not tolerated, not criticized, not compared, appreciated. And I'm not talking about praising him for breathing. I'm talking about genuinely recognizing the things he puts effort into, the things he tries to do right, and the man he's becoming, even if he's not fully there yet. A man hears fear as pressure, but he hears appreciation as inspiration. Fear-based words make a man feel like no matter what he does, it's never good enough. But appreciation makes him feel like what he does matters. Like his efforts don't go unnoticed, like he's building something real with a woman who sees him. And let me tell you something about men. We want to be seen. Every man wants to feel like he matters to the woman he's choosing. Appreciation tells him, I notice you. I value you. I respect the way you show up. You speak to a man like that, and you'll be shocked how fast he steps up his game. Appreciation changes the tone. Instead of saying, I'm scared you'll lose interest, you say, I appreciate how consistent you've been with me. Instead of saying, I don't want you looking at other women, you say, I appreciate how you make me feel like I'm the only woman you want. Instead of saying, I don't trust men because of my past, you say, I appreciate how you're different, how you show me love in a real way. And right there, right in that shift, something powerful happens inside a man. He feels responsible for protecting the appreciation you're giving him. A man who feels appreciated becomes invested. He becomes intentional. He becomes careful with how he moves. Men do not want to disappoint a woman who appreciates them. That's the truth most people miss. A man may ignore the complaints. He may tune out the nagging. He may get defensive with the accusations, but appreciation, that hits him in the chest. That makes him pay attention. That makes him feel like he wants to keep being the man you're describing. Men grow into the words spoken over them, and when those words are rooted in appreciation, he grows toward loyalty, not away from it. When you speak appreciation, you're not pretending he's perfect. You're acknowledging the good while still holding your standards. Appreciation isn't weakness. It's not submission. It's not lowering your expectations. In fact, appreciation raises the bar for him because now he sees what you value and he wants to give you more of that. Appreciation doesn't say, do whatever you want. It says, I see the good in you and I expect you to keep living up to it. That's how you guide a man without nagging. You lead him with respect, not fear. Men are simple in this way. When you highlight the good, we repeat the good. When you highlight what he's doing right, he tries harder. That's masculine psychology. Men want to win with their woman, and appreciation tells him he's winning. Not that he's perfect, not that he's done enough, but that his effort matters. That's what keeps a man loyal. Loyalty comes from feeling valued, not from feeling controlled. Appreciation builds emotional safety for a man, which is something most people don't even know men need. A man opens up when he feels appreciated. He becomes more expressive, more honest, more vulnerable. But when every conversation is about what you fear, what you don't trust, what you've been through, what might happen, he shuts down. Not because he doesn't care, but because fear-based conversations make him feel like he's already failing. And a man who feels like he's failing checks out mentally long before he checks out physically. That's where distance begins. But appreciation creates closeness. It creates partnership. It creates a team mindset. When you say things like, "Baby, I appreciate the way you protect us," or "I appreciate how you communicate with me," or "I appreciate your honesty," you're feeding his spirit. And a man will never walk away from a woman who feeds his spirit. A man might leave a woman who tears him down or drains him or constantly doubts him, but a man will not walk away from a woman who makes him feel valued. That kind of connection is rare, and a man knows it. Appreciation also makes a man see you differently. He sees you as his peace, not his stress, his motivation, not his critic, his partner, not his opponent. A man who feels appreciated by his woman naturally becomes more protective of her, more loyal to her, more bonded with her, because appreciation makes him feel safe enough to give his best. It makes him feel like he's building something solid with a woman who believes in him. Not in a fairy tale way, but in a grounded, real, mature way. You want a man to never look at another woman again? Appreciate the good in him and stop feeding your fears. Speak to the part of him that wants to be a better man. Say things like, "I love when you show up for me," or "I appreciate your loyalty," or "I appreciate the way you try." Those words go deeper than you realize. They sit in a man's mind. They echo in the moments when temptation tries to distract him. They remind him who he is to you and who you believe he can be. Appreciation doesn't just change him. It changes the relationship. It shifts the energy. It turns love from something he has to maintain into something he wants to nurture. And when a man wants to nurture something, he protects it with everything he has. That's how appreciation makes a man stay loyal. That's how it makes him invest. That's how it makes him look at no one but you. When you set a standard with love instead of threats or pressure, you create a type of influence over a man that is deeper than anything forceful words could ever achieve. Men don't respond well to being pushed, judged, or cornered. You threaten a man, he gets defensive. You pressure a man, he pulls back. You try to control a man, he looks for escape routes. But you set a standard with love, firm, clear, confident love, and he hears that differently. He hears guidance, not dominance. He hears expectation, not fear. He hears clarity, not conflict, and that's what makes him rise to the occasion. A standard set with love doesn't sound like, "If you don't act right, I'm leaving." A standard set with love sounds like, "This is the kind of relationship I'm building, and I'd love for you to build it with me." It's calm, it's confident, it's steady. And the funny thing is that tone, soft but strong, gets a man to step up faster than yelling ever could. When a woman speaks with both love and self-respect, she hits a man's heart and his conscience at the same time. He feels loved, but he also feels challenged. That balance right there makes a man want to do better because he sees you're not trying to take his freedom, you're encouraging his growth. See, men want direction more than they admit. We don't always know exactly what you need from us, and we're not mind readers, but we know when something matters to you by the way you communicate it. If you speak through anger, we hear attack. If you speak through fear, we hear doubt. But if you speak through love, we hear meaning. And meaning makes a man listen. Meaning makes a man adjust. Meaning makes a man commit to the standard you're setting. Setting a standard isn't about being harsh. It's about being clear. It's about saying, "This is the behavior that builds connection with me, and this is the behavior that breaks it." It's about letting him know without yelling, "I don't entertain confusion. I value consistency." When you speak with love, you are not begging him to behave. You are giving him a roadmap to keep the relationship strong. And the right man appreciates that more than you know. A standard set with love also removes the ego from the conversation. Instead of making him feel like you're trying to win an argument, it makes him feel like you're trying to build a life. And men respond better to partnership than combat. When you tell a man, I want us to communicate better because I care about us, it hits different than saying, you never communicate. When you say, I need loyalty because I give loyalty, it's received differently than saying, you better not mess this up. Love softens the message, but it doesn't weaken the boundary. A man respects a woman who knows what she will and won't accept, but he loves a woman who delivers that message with grace instead of anger. Grace is powerful. Grace is not weakness. It's strength under control. And men admire controlled strength. A woman who can tell a man her standard without belittling him, without threatening him, without losing her composure. That woman earns a man's respect, and that respect becomes loyalty. A man will fight the woman who pressures him, but he'll fight for the woman who inspires him. When you present a standard with love, you're inspiring him. You're showing him the best version of the relationship and inviting him to participate in building it. You're saying, I believe we can be great together, but I also know what I deserve. That combination makes a man take accountability for his actions, not because you force it, but because he feels compelled to. When you set a standard with love, you tap into a man's desire to protect what he values. Men protect what feels good to them. Men protect what gives them peace. Men protect the person who sees the best in them, but doesn't tolerate the worst from them. That kind of woman is unforgettable. That kind of woman makes a man feel proud to love her. That kind of woman makes him want to guard the relationship like it's something sacred. Setting standards with love also eliminates unnecessary chaos. When you communicate clearly and kindly, you leave no room for guessing. You're not playing games. You're not sending mixed messages, and you're not testing him. You're simply stating your truth. And the truth spoken in a calm tone is louder than any threat spoken in a loud one. A man remembers a calm standard because it hits his conscience. If you scream it, he remembers the volume. But if you say it with love, he remembers the meaning. Love-based standards also reveal the real man behind the facade. A man who truly cares will listen, adjust, and step up. A man who doesn't care will resist, blame, and run. Either way, you get the answer. But with love, you get it clean, not chaotic. You get clarity without destroying your peace. And that's what a confident woman wants, clarity, not chaos. Standards delivered with love also create emotional intimacy. Because he doesn't feel attacked, he feels invited. He doesn't feel judged, he feels trusted. And men open up to women who make them feel trusted. When a man feels emotionally safe, he naturally becomes more loyal. Not because you forced his loyalty, but because he doesn't want to risk losing the woman who leads him with both heart and strength. Setting standards with love is one of the strongest moves a woman can make. It tells a man, I'm not here to control you. I'm here to build something real with you. It tells him, I believe in your ability to be the man I need, but I won't lower who I am to get you to meet me. That message shapes a man. It makes him look at you with admiration. It makes him value the relationship. And most importantly, it makes him never want to look at another woman because he knows the woman he already has isn't trying to dominate him. She's trying to grow with him. When you let a man know that his loyalty is seen, valued, and required, you tap into the deepest part of his character. Men don't just want to be loved, they want to feel like the loyalty they give is actually noticed. A man will break his back for a woman who recognizes his efforts. Men need to feel needed in ways they don't always say out loud, and loyalty is one of those ways. When a man knows you see his loyalty, not just the big gestures, but the small ones, the quiet ones, the everyday decisions, he feels appreciated, he feels respected, and he feels responsible for continuing that loyalty. A man stays loyal when his loyalty is acknowledged, not taken for granted. Men are simple but deep. When a man chooses you, he does it intentionally, even if he doesn't always express it perfectly. A loyal man will turn down temptation, ignore distractions, and shut down opportunities that don't align with the relationship. But when he does all that silently, and the woman he loves doesn't see it or appreciate it, a part of him starts to feel invisible. And invisibility in a relationship weakens connection. That's why letting a man know you see his loyalty is powerful. It makes him feel chosen back. When you tell a man, I notice the way you stay committed. I see the way you protect what we have. You speak to the part of him that takes pride in being a good man. But there's another side of this conversation too, because appreciating loyalty doesn't mean tolerating the absence of it. That's where the requirement comes in. It's one thing to say, I appreciate your loyalty, but it's even more powerful when you also say, your loyalty is the standard here. Men admire women with standards, not impossible standards, not cruel standards, but clear standards. When you tell a man that loyalty is required, not optional, you're showing him exactly what it takes to love you. And a good man loves guidelines. A good man loves knowing what's expected of him. A good man thrives when he knows the boundaries are rooted in respect and not insecurity. When you speak to a man about loyalty with confidence, you remove fear from the conversation. You're not saying it from a place of suspicion. You're saying it from a place of self-worth. You're saying, I know my value, and I know what a man of value brings to the table. And when he sees how calmly and clearly you communicate that, he starts to understand something. This woman doesn't beg for loyalty. She inspires it. And that difference right there shifts a man's entire mindset. A man wants to feel proud of his relationship. He wants to feel like he is doing right by his woman. Men will brag to their friends about being loyal when the woman they love makes loyalty feel meaningful. When you tell a man, I respect the way you carry yourself with other women, you reinforce the behavior you want. Men repeat what is recognized. Men amplify what is appreciated, and men protect what is valued. The more he feels like you notice the way he's choosing you every day, the more he will choose you without hesitation. But here's the important part. Loyalty is not just seen, it's reciprocated. A loyal man needs a loyal woman, not loyal out of fear, but loyal out of character. When you show him that you match the energy you expect, he feels safe. He feels secure. He feels grounded. Men don't open their hearts to women who play games, but they will give everything to the woman who gives them stability and honesty. Loyalty connects two people in a way physical attraction never could. When you require loyalty, you must also embody the space that loyalty lives in. You can tell him, I value how you shut down disrespect, but you must also show him that you shut down anything that could disrespect the relationship too. Standards must be mutual, and when they are, the relationship becomes a place where both people can grow without fear. Men love relationships where clarity replaces guessing and loyalty replaces insecurity. And let me tell you this, a loyal man has a certain kind of pride in the woman he's with. If he knows she sees his effort, he walks taller. He invests deeper. He makes decisions with her in mind. Men love feeling responsible for something meaningful. Loyalty makes a man feel like the protector, the provider, the builder. And a woman acknowledging that loyalty gives him the strength to stay committed even when life throws challenges at the relationship. A man who feels valued for his loyalty is a man who will reject anything that jeopardizes it. He won't need you checking his phone, questioning his intentions, or monitoring his every move. When he feels seen and appreciated, he becomes self-managed. He checks himself. He holds himself accountable. He knows what he stands to lose, because a man doesn't stay loyal out of fear of punishment. He stays loyal out of fear of losing the woman who makes him feel like the best version of himself. A man who's loyal sees his woman as his partner, not his supervisor. He sees her as his peace, not his pressure. And when you tell him your loyalty means everything to me, you're telling him exactly why he should keep choosing you. You're giving him purpose within the relationship, and purpose is fuel for a man's devotion. You want a man to never look at another woman again make him feel like the loyalty he gives you is the loyalty he's honored for, not ignored, not expected without gratitude, not taken for granted. When a man feels like his loyalty matters, when he knows it's appreciated, and when he understands it's a requirement, not a suggestion, he doesn't just stay loyal. He becomes loyal in a way that is natural, consistent, and deeply rooted. That kind of loyalty doesn't wander. It doesn't get distracted. It doesn't drift. It stays home. It stays present. It stays committed, and it stays yours.